Hello, and welcome to Geeky Vices with J-Belle, where I talk about bits of geekdom and pop culture I've been into lately. Yes, I'm doing my hands a lot. Um, so the general vibe of the show is I talk about random bits of pop culture and fandom I've been into lately, and geekdom. I don't know why I switch from geekdom to fandom, but yeah, same difference in this context. Also, the general vibe of the show is that I consider it to be unrehearsed, unedited, and hip. It's just me spouting my stream of consciousness. That's the right word. See how unedited is? I can't even unrehearsed it is. But yeah, I basically just babble on about what I've been into lately. Also, general forewarning: I tend to be spoilers light. So if you don't want to have, I avoid the major spoilers. But if you don't want to have any spoilers about this week's topic, hint, hint, hint. You should watch my video after you enjoy that content. But yeah, I avoid the major spoilers, but I might give away some little subtle things that you wish you hadn't gone in knowing. So yeah. Also, I've been trying to push to do an extra video this week because my filming situation has changed slightly. Basically, when I'm filming, I use the significant other's computer, which is set up in the living room, and I do it when I'm by myself because I said it's in the living room, so I'm taking over the hub of the apartment. I am way too self-conscious for him to be home when I do this, or at least like in the room. And my computer is so old and decrepit, it's still Windows Vista. So yeah, to give you a little bit of context. And his work schedule's changed that way I don't get as many long windows of time by myself to do these videos. And usually when I do have those long windows of times, I'm like, I just want to nap. So yeah. Anyways, the bonus video for you guys. I also, if you watched my last video, which hopefully you have, you may have heard that I did a double feature, 2 animes. The first one we watched in one afternoon was The Shape of Your Voice, which recently got added onto Netflix, which I had really wanted to see on when it was in limited release theaters by, what is it called? It was a Fathom event. That's what they call it. But they called it a different name. They call it The Silent Voice. But anyways, it's the same movie. Pretty easy to tell because both of them are about a deaf girl who is bullied back in elementary school, and then it turns out her bully in turn becomes bullied because of that. And then him seeking redemption because of all that, and him not feeling worthy of it. So yeah, that was a great movie. But then we followed up with a movie I've been wanting to watch for probably about 2 years, I would say. It's Your Name, which, yes, that is the title, which I actually, first time I heard about it was because my tablet is a cheap little Amazon Fire. I will get ads when I first swipe my screen, and I remember that was one of the things that advertised. I'm like, ooh, this looks really pretty. And spoiler, it is really pretty. So, yeah. Anyways, the premise of this movie, which, as I said, is gorgeous, is that this boy and girl, like, basically there's a city boy in high school and a country girl in high school, and they go about their normal lives, and then every once in a while people are like, oh wow, you were acting really weird yesterday, you're acting normal again today. And they slowly start to realize that randomly, sometimes when they go to sleep, they switch bodies. They're not sure how, but so they then like spend a day of each other, and they slowly, so yeah, so it's kind of interesting. It's Freaky Friday, but without all the weird contrived drama and such, and they don't overdo the fact that bodies are very different between a high school boy and a high school girl. Like, they actually have to establish rules pretty early on. But yeah, and they definitely behave very differently. Like, when Mitsuha, the girl, is in Taki's body, like, Taki starts hitting off better with his female coworker who he has a crush on because she appreciates the feminine side, especially when Mitsuha in Taki's body fixes her skirt with cool sewing skills, which, as I said, it looks really pretty afterwards. Like, she didn't just do like straight up sewing. She like did like a pretty little pattern in it, so it was cool. And Taki in Mitsuha's body makes Mitsuha more popular because he's more assertive and aggressive and outgoing of a personality. So it's interesting. So that, as I said, like, and it's done really well. It's beautiful and interesting and such, and it's very slice of life. But it doesn't just get caught up in that. And eventually, they do try making plans to meet up, and suddenly, like, Taki stops getting communication from Mitsuha, and he starts, like, his cell phone records of conversations with her, like, start disappearing, and his memories of her start fading, and he just has this powerful urge to find her. So I'm not gonna spoil things too much. And the thing is that, like, let's see, he's basically just a regular high school student. He wants to become an architect, so, like, we see, like, really good drawing skills at some point, and he does eventually figure out from his memories, like, where she lived from. He's like, oh wait, the mountain looks like this, and Mitsuha, she's from her family is actually very interesting. Like, we don't really get to see Taki's family too much, but her family, she has a younger sister, and they live with their grandmother, who still upholds the Shinto tradition. So, like, basically they're, like, basically upholding the Shinto temple, and they're estranged from their father, who totally, like, who's the town mayor, because he totally just, like, cut off all connections, like, to the Shinto temple when his wife passed away. So it's a very, very complicated dynamic. And also the fact that, like, he's super uptight and strict, and, like, she'll just be walking through towns with her friends, and, like, he'll yell at her to stand up straight when he's, like, in the middle, of a crowd. And it's like, that is not a fun family dynamic, but it's interesting. Like, we also see some of the cool, like, Shinto traditions that I never knew about, because honestly, I don't know that much about Shinto traditions besides from occasional animes, and the main anime I can think of off the top of my head that had Shinto traditions were Sailor Moon and Inuyasha. So, yeah, gonna pause for a second. So, give me 1 sec. You can tell I moved because my hand's not positioned how it was. Sorry, I got interrupted by a significant other coming home, and as I said, I'm super self-conscious, and so yeah, and also distracted by noise of someone coming home, and distracted by the fact that there's a cat walking by. But anyone who's familiar with my videos knows that Jazz likes to cameo, just so that the internet knows he exists, because, you know, the internet and cat videos. Anyways, as I said, like, my main exposure to Shintoism, besides brief overlook in Wikipedia, if yours goes, as I said, like, Kagome and Kaede and Inuyasha and Rei from Sailor Moon. So yeah, it was interesting seeing some of the more, like, some of the other traditions, like the cords being woven, because, like, I had no idea what those little wooden things at the end were for. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. They're used to make the cords. And also, like, the oldest form of wine, like rice wine, being made, which was interesting. I understand, and understandably embarrassing for her. Sorry, guys. But yeah, anyways, it's beautiful. There's definitely, I don't want to spoil major things, but there's definitely, even though it has, like, the initial Freaky Friday thing, like, there's definitely more going on to it. And, like, there's definitely, like, it's very much, like, it's interesting how, like, there's this strong connection, even though, like, it seems like everything's trying to make them forget. So, yeah. As I said, I don't want to get too much more into the story, because I want to save some of the wonderful stuff for you guys. But I am happy with how things end, although I desperately wanted an epilogue in the credits. Like, I understand, like, the last line being powerful, but I wanted an epilogue in the credits. Like, I just want to see a little bit more. Like, you didn't have to diminish the impact of the last line, but I just want to see what happened, like, a little bit of, like, okay, now that all the story stuff's been resolved, here's a little, like, bonus stuff to enjoy. It's kind of like when I watch, like, movies, some Disney movies, like WALL-E. It's like, I love watching the credits for just, like, seeing, like, what's happening in the future. Like, even though you've already finished up the actual main story. But, so this is I believe it's my first time with this particular director. I'm cheating again by looking up on Wikipedia, Makoto Shinkai. So it's beautiful. Like, first time I saw it, like, on some of the artwork, made me think of one of my favorite other anime directors. So obviously, Hayao Miyazaki is up there. But I've always said my favorite non-Studio Ghibli director is Mamoru Hosoda, who he did The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast, which is another amazing one. I believe Mirai was also his, which I would say is probably his weakest out of the ones I've seen. But anyways, there's definitely elements of like I feel like there's influence. They're either they both of my favorite director, Mamoru Hosoda, on uh, Makoto Shinkai's work, or so as I said, I think there's either like one influenced the other, or they had shared influence. And I'm sure, obviously, Miyazaki's bound to have been influenced. If you're gonna be if you're directing full length animated movie in Japan, you've got to have been influenced by Miyazaki. But anyways, like there's I would say that other movies that this reminds me of is two of um Mamoru Hosoda's works, particularly The Girl Who Lived Through Time. Like there's something about like just the keep on missing each other and just like that. It's like it's a lot of realism, but there's like that just that little bit of suspension of disbelief as far as the um the fantastical elements. But it's like it's just kind of like just the sheer level of connectiveness and also just the very much the realistic human interactions. But also it totally reminded me of Summer Wars. Just the especially the grandmother totally looked like the art style for the grandmother in Summer Wars. But also just like the fact that like the rallying together type of energy of just trying to everyone get together to solve the major problem. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Apparently, this is going to be one of my shortest videos in a long time, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Like this is, I honestly own over 300 DVDs. It might be closer to 400 by this point. I actually might be over 400 for all I know. I'd have to check my Excel file that I use to keep track of all that. But this is still added on my list of movies I want to own. Like I've definitely slowed down my momentum as far as like acquiring new movies. Because I used to do it so quickly, especially when Blockbuster was still around, because like you can then buy used movies really cheap. But I would love, I would love to own this. This is so beautiful, and I think the story's so well done, and it's interesting, and it has great replay value. And I think I'd want to like look at for some more subtleties, and also like some of the stuff leading up to like one of the twists. So yeah, there's some really good stuff going on. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you love a full length anime movie, watch this. If you love Miyazaki, watch this. If you love my favorite director, Mamoru Hosoda, watch this. This definitely makes me want to try seeing more of Makoto Shinkai's work, because this is my first one I've seen mine, but it's beautiful. Like it won a lot of awards, and like it was very very highly rated as far like both in Japan and internationally. So like it's amazing. So yeah, I think I've sung its praises enough. Yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And as I said, like I totally recommend if you do like this, watch The Girl Who Lived Through Time and watch Summer Wars. Those ones suit the vibe perfectly. All right, talk to you guys later. Until next time, continue enjoying your own vices. All right, bye. Oh, yeah, and as I said, minimal editing, so just remember that next time. Oh, and also a reminder, I'm wearing my particular shirt because I'm saying farewell to my favorite website, which is about to close down in a few days. But it's not really closing down, but like ThinkGeek, which I got awesome shirts like this, or my Guardians of the Galaxy necklace, which you can't really see too well, but it's basically looks like the cassette tape of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it says Awesome Mix Volume 1. I don't know if you actually were up close. My camera's not good enough for it to be worth me bringing it up to the camera. But anyways, it's migraines to the GameStop website, which hopefully will live on. Like, please, GameStop, don't die. I enjoy GameStop, but also like because you already cannibalized my favorite website, which as you can see from my share, it's like it was for the 13th year anniversary. The website just has 20th anniversary, which is sad. It just released its 20th anniversary shirt right when it's in the middle of its moving sale. Although, if you guys do enjoy ThinkGeek, like, between now and mid-July, check it out, get whatever you can, because it's significant sales from what's left of their inventory. And, yeah, it makes me more motivated to try finding one of their physical locations at some point. Although, I think there is one not within drivable distance to me. Like, it's more than an hour or so, but it's doable. Alright, anyways, that's it for now. Talk to you guys later. Bye!